differences between charter flying and flying with owners. So those are some of the things that I wanted to kind of go over today, along with also all the canapé stuff, or canapes. I think that there's a different pronunciation in different areas too. So how do you say it over there?
We're canapes. We're canapes over here.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I have to look it up because I don't know if it's different. It said online that they pronounce it canapes in France. So if that's true, I don't know. Feel free to correct me, everybody, if I'm wrong, but I just wanted to check and see if I was saying it right. But well, anyway, thank you everyone for joining us today. I have some really exciting things to show you, and I'm excited to kind of get started. I thought that what I would do is kind of get into a little bit of the details about canapes and what they actually are. They are actually a type of hors d'oeuvre, which is something that you eat that's outside of the regular meal. So the goal for canapé, or you could also use amusebouche or an hors d'oeuvre actually also, is to kind of excite the appetite and get the guests ready for what's to come. So it's nice to have something that's creative and it gets their senses kind of excited about what you have coming. So that's kind of the whole purpose of a canapé. And there's really endless possibilities when you kind of get involved and see, but you'll find there's a kind of a base formula for how to put them together. James Beard, who is a really well-renowned chef, he wrote a book. His first book actually was Canapés and hors d'oeuvres and canapés, and this was written in like 1940. And he wrote the entire book about hors d'oeuvres and canapés, and it's a phenomenal book, and it's still very, very relevant today. But one of his quotes that I read that I thought was so funny and interesting, and it just really described it a lot as far as like how to put it together, was that a well-built house needs a really great foundation. So when we're starting to talk about canapés, the best place to start is the foundation. So what I wanted to jump into right away is kind of some of the different things that you can use to make a canapé. So I don't know if you can see this here, but I have several of the different types of bases that you would use. A canapé is basically like a type of bread that has a savory taste and filling or topping. So some of the different types of bases or foundations that people will use for a canapé would include things like we have like toast or bread that's toasted. These breads here, these are crostinis. So crostini is basically you take a sliced piece of toast. I mean, this is pretty basic for most flight attendant crew, but you take a piece of toast and you fry it basically in either butter or oil or olive oil, and it becomes crunchy, and then you can put pretty much anything you want on there. There's also, you can like make little circles out of bread and then do it that way. These are puff pastries over here, which are really fun because you can actually shape them into pretty much anything. You can make little like breadsticks, and just, I made this one. This is kind of like you can put something inside of it, and it's just really cool because you can make pretty much anything out of puff pastry. These here are flaky crust. These are phyllo dough. These ones I just kind of did flat, but you can also make them into little cups. That's a really great base, and phyllo dough tastes incredible. It has a lot of like butter in it, so butter tastes amazing. These ones, these are also the puff pastry, but you can actually cut off the top of it and then remove the lid and then fill that with lots of different fillings. So some of the different types of fillings that you can use are so these are different types of canapé foundations. The quote that I had mentioned from James Beard was that a well-built house is nothing without a great foundation. So that's why I wanted to go over the base first, because once you figure out what your canapé base is, it's really easy to kind of go from there, and then you can kind of just pick whatever fillings or toppings are going to go great to kind of go with your meal that you have planned in flight. So
So you have like a set canapé base that you use generally on every flight, and then you kind of build up from there.
well, these are just kind of basic ones that anybody could use for anything, because canapes, what they really are is a bread base, and it could be any kind of bread, like all these types. These are all different types that you can use that are good because they're sturdy. They're going to support whatever your topping is, and then it's not going to like fall apart when you go to eat it, you know. And they're usually yeah, so they're usually pretty small because you want a canapé to just kind of whet the appetite a little bit and get the person excited about what they're going to be eating next. So you don't want it to be too big, you know. You want to have just kind of like a little taste and have it not to be satiating, but have them wanting more. So these are some of the different ones. It basically starts with bread or some type of bread, biscuit, cracker. And that's kind of like where we are here, but you can make it into a crepini, which is basically like, you know, toasted bread, or you can fry it in olive oil or butter, and then you get a crunchy crust, which is really nice. And then you can place whatever you want on that. Those taste great. And then there's other ones like just, you can stamp, you know, different shapes into the bread. Then you can make these ones are puff pastry. So I don't know if you can see, puff pastry is wonderful to use because you can shape it into all different things. This kind you can cut the top off and make like a little bit of a lid out of it, and then you can fill it with anything you want. This is also puff pastry that I shaped into like a little boat. And this is really fun because you could fill it with different things, and it could also be used for maybe a dessert. This is phyllo dough, which is a really nice light flaky one that has a lot of butter in it. So that one tastes great. It's a little bit more delicate, so you're not going to be putting anything, you know, too heavy on that or wet. But those taste delicious too. So it's nice for a light one. Then you have regular, you know, water crackers and biscuits and things like that. These are blinis right here. They're kind of like mini pancakes, but really small. But when you make them yourself, you know, you can see there's a variation in sizes. They're not completely perfect, but these are also like, I've seen these available at Whole Foods that you can purchase, which saves you a lot of time, but they taste really good when they're homemade too. So this one right here is a Gougères. This is actually like a cream puff base, and then you mix cheese into it, and those are fantastic. That was another thing that I really wanted to like share with everyone today, because if you're looking for something to share with your guests in the flight, and you might not have a lot of time, or it's like a short notice trip, these are really great to make ahead of time, and you can store these in your freezer for up to a month, and you can just pop them into the oven right from the freezer, and they taste incredible. So this one right here, this is a recipe from Greenspan. She's a fantastic chef that I follow as well. She has a ton of amazing recipes. She used to live in France, and she does a lot of really amazing desserts and cookies. But this one is one of her recipes for those. But it has cheddar cheese, and it also has a little bit of mustard, which adds a little bit of an interesting flavor to the Gougères. Yeah. And then her other ingredient that she had in this recipe is walnuts too. So you can just add in different things. But these are just some of the different kinds of bases that you can use. So that kind of gives you an idea of where to start. But from there, once you get like your foundation down, the possibilities of whatever you're doing with the canapes is really kind of endless. So, but so anyway, so like
people already saying that you're making them hungry.
Oh, I haven't even started. Well,
do you have a favorite go-to canapé base that you always have in your freezer, or that, you know, go-to? What would
Well, I'm a huge fan of goat cheese, so I absolutely love goat cheese, and I could eat that pretty much every day. I also really love Delice de Bourgogne, which is like a French brie, I think it's a triple cream brie. But that one is fantastic with pretty much anything. You could drizzle a little bit of honey on it, add a couple like a fig or something, and you can even melt it in that on a crostini. But those are absolutely incredible. I love goat cheese. There's a really fantastic goat cheese recipe that I saw with the crostini just yesterday, and when I was researching for everything, I didn't do that one today, but that's definitely what I want to try. So maybe I'll try that on the next one.
And then somebody's asking what's the book to your left, but I think this is the book we're going to talk about later.
What is it?
The book that you have next to you.
Oh, this is a book that I used when I was researching for the class today. I was trying to pick recipes that were delicious and easy and looked really fun. So I came across this book. It's called Partyperfectbites. It's by Milli Taylor, who it just happened she's actually from London, which I found out yesterday when I followed her on Instagram. She has like so many amazing recipes, and I just love her work. And her book is just like the phenomenal like photos, and it's really easy to follow. So as you can see, I Ninja, I marked off a lot of pages. So these are some of the ones that I did today, but I'm going to show you them later. But if anybody, a lot of the recipes I'm going to go over today, there's a few of them that are in here. So if you want to look it up, it's Partyperfectbites by Milli Taylor. And the one available on Amazon is a different cover, but they also have it available on Kindle. So just so you know, but that's what the book is. I like highlight notes. So is there any questions that have come up yet, or do you want me to move into like some of the next canapé and start demoing, or?
Yeah, you keep going, and then I'll just find slots to
Okay.
throw the questions in as they come up.
Sounds good. All right, well, what I'm gonna do is dive right in then. I have, there's about 6 recipes that I have that I prepared today, and I'm just kind of gonna pretend like I'm on my aircraft, and I even brought my catering bag with me. So I'm going to just pull out the first one and kind of get started. So I guess I'll kind of talk about what I'm doing. So the first canapé that I'm going to demonstrate for you today, I hope you can you see down here? Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay. The first one that I'm going to go over is it's called blue cheese, pear butter, and walnut blinis. So the base that we're using, I'm just going to pull them off of this little sheet that I showed you earlier, because that's why I did that. So you can see, like, start with the base first and then build from there. So the base that we're using for this one is going to be the blini. So let me actually grab a plate really fast.
Just gonna try one more time. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna use this little guy.
That's good.
So, all right, so we're gonna start, and I'm not gonna wear gloves today just because I'm at home. So normally I would wear gloves and a mask on the aircraft, but so here we're gonna start with the blini. This is the base here. This recipe is really incredible. I didn't really know how to make fruit butter before, but this one calls for pear butter, which is basically all it is taking a pear, or actually the recipe is 3 pears, but yeah, I packaged everything very neatly in my little container. All the little ingredients are easy to get to. But basically what you do is you take a pear, you cut it up, well, you have to like peel it first, and then you dice it up and you put it in a pan for about 20 minutes with a whole squeeze of an entire lemon in there. So it's basically just lemon and pear, and you stir it for 20 minutes, and it reduces down to this, like, it's almost like a paste. So this is a pear butter, but it tastes phenomenal. I was like, I just wanted to eat all of it. But one pear is it reduced down to this one little jar. So just so you can kind of get an idea of how much you would get out of it. But
I'm guessing you only need a tiny amount.
yeah, so I kind of like just did a little bit of the recipe instead of the entire thing. So nice to be in my own kitchen where I can just grab my stuff here. So what you want to do for this one is take a little bit of the pear butter and you just kind of smear it on the blini, a little bit on the half side. And then the next thing you're going to do is take some blue cheese. And just a little piece. Because blue cheese is pretty strong, so you don't really need a huge piece of it. And then let me use my little palm for this. After you get that on, then you're going to go ahead and use look for a piece of a nut. And I actually don't have walnuts here today, but I do have pecans and I also have pistachios. So I think trying to think which one would probably taste better with the pear and the blue cheese combination. What do you ladies think? Do you think that the pistachio or the pecan? Pecan has kind of a sweet flavor. So what was that?
And do you crush them down, I'm assuming?
You could crush it down. The recipe actually has a whole half of a walnut on it, but I kind of feel like doing something different and maybe like slicing the pecan a little bit might be kind of interesting looking. So I think I'm gonna just do that. So let's go ahead and cut this pecan. And if you'll notice, when you cut a pecan, it has a really interesting shape to it. It kind of looks like a little butterfly or a bat. But that's kind of more interesting, you know, to do something like cut it instead of just there.
So we've got 2 votes for pecan, 1 for pistachio, 1 for
Okay, good. Well, you know, I have enough I can make 2, so. But yeah, so here's the example. So this is kind of what that looks like. I would probably maybe do like another thing on it to give it a little bit more color. So we could also maybe do the pistachio as well. But I try to like, when I'm building these canapes or little bites, I'm always thinking, is there anything more I could do to make it more interesting? And you know, it's kind of like you just play around and see what you can find. But this is kind of what it looks like. Yeah, so easy. This is a cold canape. It has pear butter, blue cheese, and pecan, and also pistachio on a blini. So there you go, easy. So there's number 1.
And as far as preparing things in advance, you do generally the blini at home and the reduction, the pear reduction. And then once you're on board,
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. So I would do at home, as I just said today, I prepared the pear butter first at home, and I also made the blinis at home, and I packaged everything up. I also made like a little pear, like I dried out a slice of the pear, which kind of gives an interesting look as well. So if you were to plate it, this, you could add that as well to give it a little bit of an interesting look to it. So if I take that and set it next to this, they'll know that what's in the butter is pear.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So that's why I made that, but that was easy, just kind of like, I just used my mandolin and sliced the pear in the very center, preserving the stem, so you kind of know what it is, and then I just baked it, so kind of like almost into a chip.
To give the rest of a hint as to what each canapé is.
Yeah, so like, and this one is like a little bit more baked than the other one, but it kind of has like a little bit of a chip consistency. Can you tell?
Yeah.
And you can see the pistachio. Probably would leave this one off, but they taste really good. So there's that one. And then I have another couple of ones too that I can show you next. All right, so I'm going to clean up this little area here, and then I'll get started on the next one.
What have we got there?
The next one that I have for you today is going to be beetroot salmon blinis. This one was really interesting because when I looked at it, I thought, wow, that's a really interesting color for the salmon because it looked almost like magenta, but it's because it's basically marinated in beetroot juice or beet juice, and it gives us this really interesting color. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that one next.
And then with the salmon, what are you using as a base on the?
Oh, it's going to be another blini.
Sorry, above the one that did you have like a sour cream or something you put in the middle, or is it just salad straight?
Yes, this one is creme fraiche.
Oh, creme fraiche.
Yeah. So this one has so we're going to take another blini. So have our little blini base here. And then we're going to do a little, here, let me clean this little bit I got. So we have the creme fraiche. This is this, you probably don't, I don't know if you have the same brand that we do, but they have them all over. But you're going to just take a little dab of this and smear it on the blini. And then this is the salmon. So this is another prep ahead type thing that I did today. So I marinated this smoked salmon in the beet juice. So when you do that, it gives it this really pretty pink color. You see that?
Yeah, that's really vibrant.
Yeah, it's really pretty. So that's definitely a really cool kind of like change on the traditional salmon, because I have salmon and cream cheese and or creme fraiche is a very traditional canapé style.
Yeah.
So this is a kind of a fun twist on it, adds a little bit more interest. So I'm gonna cut this down to like a smaller size here.
Do you find does it alter the flavour much? Because the beetroot's not particularly overwhelming flavour anyway. So
it adds kind of like a beet taste to it, like a little bit of a sweetness, but it goes really well with the creme fraiche. So I'm just gonna do like a little interesting kind of a swirl here. And then to top this off, I'm gonna add a little bit of the lumpfish caviar. So this is the ones that have the really tiny black spheres, basically. And for caviar, you want to be really careful to use a non-metallic serving utensil when you're scooping it out, because metallic can add a bad taste to it, or metallic taste, because caviar is very delicate. So I need to find like a plastic or a mother of pearl. Those are like the two types of utensils that are recommended to use with caviar. So I just wanted to mention that in case anybody didn't know that. And I don't keep plastic silverware in my house. Yeah, normally you would use that. I don't keep plastic utensils at my house, so, and I don't have any mother of pearl on me today, so, but this, it might be in my jewelry box, I don't know. But here we go, so, but you can see it, it looks really beautiful plated when you can add caviar to anything. It tastes incredible, and it also looks really beautiful.
Perfect.
Can you see?
Yeah, so the color's amazing.
Yeah, it looks really nice, and that's a really easy one to make. So, and just soaking the salmon in the beet juice gives it that really pretty color. So you can do lots of different variations on that, but that's just going to be one of those things that you can really play with. And you can even, you could even add like a sprig of dill or something like to give it a little bit more flavor. Or this is like a fennel frond. You can add that to just give it that kind of final touch. There. Beautiful.
That is beautiful.
So,
So Cassie is asking, do you make your own beet juice or buy it?
oh, I bought that. Yeah, I don't. Beets are something that I don't really like to handle because they can stain. I was playing. Actually, you know what? I made beet chips today too when I was playing with the pears. I don't remember where I put them though, but those are really cool. But beets, making chips. Yeah, the beets are they stain your hands really easily. So it's best to use gloves. I was using gloves when I was handling those. But if you slice them on the mandolin, and then you can put them in the oven and they'll kind of curl up. They almost look like rose petals, which that's why I thought, oh, these are really neat because I can use like pretend, I could even put them on the plate here with that. But as I said, I forgot where to put them. They're in like a container somewhere. I don't remember, but they look really pretty. Yeah.
And again, it gives the indication, what candy is.
And another thing I wanted to mention too about beets is that if you actually, I have a beet here, a beetroot, because this is really where it started. This is what the beetroot leaves look like. They're actually really beautiful. They have that beautiful magenta kind of like veins going on. Can you see?
Yeah.
But they're really pretty, and you can actually, if you want to pull like one of the little leaves off from the center, you could also use that as a garnish here on your underneath the blini if you want, and it'll add another really pretty kind of element to that plating because it's just so pretty and it complements the beet color already. So that you infused with the salmon, but isn't that pretty? I just wanted to mention like keep the leaves because they're really pretty.
Yeah, just lift it up one more time. Sorry, you're just out. Perfect. That's good. That's a good angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
But see how it just runs down and it's got that really cool like magenta vein. It's really interesting. So that's what we're doing today is we're finding ways to kind of elevate our standard traditional canapes and in effect your welcome table or your service is just kind of finding ways to elevate it, even if it's just a little thing like a leaf, but those kind of details and touches really add on to the client's experience. So it's nice to kind of like keep that in mind, like whenever before you ever send anything out of the galley, just think, is there anything I could do to this that would make it better, and this kind of thing. Yeah, and like that's a perfect example. So all right, on to the next.
Number 3.
So number 3, I'm gonna get this. Actually, I'm gonna be using the creme fraiche again. So this one, here, let me show you what the next one is. This one's fun. This one is also gonna be another blini. I'm on fire with the blinis today, and then I'm gonna move away from that, but it took me forever to make them. So I was like, I'm going to use them as much as I can. They took forever. Oh yeah, the boat. Yeah, well, I can try different things. Yeah, well, we can try all different things. So this next one's really fun. This is actually, here, I'm gonna move this out of the way. This next one is actually quail egg, crab, and caviar blini. So this one, I had to search kind of far and wide to find these little quail eggs, but they are really cute. I don't know about, like, I love many things that are tiny. So when I saw this recipe, I thought, oh my gosh, how cool. And look how cute they are. I was so excited about how cute these are that I drew a little smiley face on one of them. I just thought it was so cute. So anyway, so these are quail eggs. Something that is kind of interesting, you know, that's different. It makes a bit of a statement when you're thinking, what kind of egg is that? It's so small. It's a quail egg. So that's something that you could add on. So what I wanted to do today was demonstrate how you can make this in the galley. So I actually didn't use like my stove to boil it because part of the presentation on the blini or this canape is to a soft boiled egg. So what I did was I figured out a way to microwave it so that it's soft boiled. So I'm going to share that with you today. Okay. So let me make sure I have all my items. I have the quail egg. I have the creme fraiche. I need to grab another blini. So we have this one. And then, oh, for this one, I was unable to find
just
the
want to
particular.
Say, oh, looks amazing. I'm not allowed in. I can't get in. I've tried everything. I am here, everybody. I'm just on a different screen. Carry on.
Becky's on a Zoom to Kelly at the same time because for some reason it won't let us add her to the room. So she just jumped.
It's only us.
I'll send them overnight. So what I was gonna say is that I wasn't able to find salmon roe for some reason. I don't know if it's out right now where I live, but what I did instead, just for the demonstration today, is I actually made spheres that resemble salmon roe. And I used agar powder to do this, and I kind of used ingredients that I thought would taste good with the setup of the quail egg and the crab and all that stuff. So that's what I just want to explain what this is. But I just wanted it to look like the same as, you know, the recipe had intended.
We'll pretend it.
Okay. Pretend with me, okay? So what I'm going to do to set this up here is I'm going to get the quail eggs ready. So because this is actually like pretty quick to put together once you get the quail egg part done, and they take very little time to cook in the microwave, I found. But you have to be very careful when you're boiling water in the microwave. So I just want to make sure if you are going to try this, be very careful, because what my plan or what I've worked out for this is I'm going to boil my about 12 ounces of water in the microwave. And it only, in my microwave, it takes 2.5 minutes, maybe a little less. So your microwaves might be a little different. So you want to keep an eye on it. I put it on 3 minutes, and then when I was watching it, I started seeing it boiling before that, so I stopped it. And so what you want to do is you want to boil the water, and I like using the glass measuring cups because they're bigger, and you don't want to go all the way to the top. You want to be careful. So I did 12 ounces of water, and then you microwave the water until it's boiling, and then put like I put 3 eggs in just because in case one of them didn't turn out right. But I tested it a couple of times. So that's, I'm just telling you what my method works for me, but you got to keep an eye on it and make sure you just do whatever works for your microwave. So let's get started. I'm going to put the water in here.
And the $1,000,000 question is going to be, how long do the eggs go in for?
Surprisingly, once the water boils and you drop the eggs in very delicately, and I recommend to use a slotted spoon. This is the spoon I use for my spears. So it has holes in it, which makes it easier. But what you want to do is after it's boiling in the microwave, pull it out, be careful. And then what you want to do is you take the eggs very delicately and you drop them into the boiling water. And then you put it back in the microwave. And mine only took like 15 to 20 seconds after that. And then they were done. And then I wasn't really sure how long it was going to take. The first time I tried to do it by boiling water on the kettle and pouring it over the egg in this. And I waited, like the recipe says 2 minutes to boil them on the stove. So I waited 2 minutes after pouring the boiled water on them, but they weren't done. So that's why I switched over and tried the microwave. Because I try to do it in a way where it's easy to replicate in the galley, but that just didn't really work. So they were completely uncooked. But this way was interesting because when I put them in after the boiling water started, and I just kind of finished the 3 minutes, but I noticed that the egg, one of them was going up and down like this, and I thought, oh, is there something in there that's alive? And I started worrying. So I stopped it right away, and I'm like looking at it, and I thought, is it done? And so I decided I was going to open it up right then, and it was cooked all the way. So it was just perfectly like soft boiled though, where it wasn't like completely like, you know how when an egg is boiled hard boiled where the yolk is like totally like a matte yellow, it was that nice orangey soft boiled look. So I thought, okay, I don't know why.
How long?
It literally took like another 15 seconds to 20 seconds after it started boiling. So I'll try to, I wonder if I can like show you in the microwave how I did that, but okay. So let me go. Okay, and then the other thing that you have to do is once it's finished boiling at that 15 to 20 second mark, and I'm going to see if it does the jumpy thing again. I might show you in the microwave just so you can see. But you have to plunge the eggs in like really cold water afterwards to kind of cease the heating process. So I'm going to put a big cube of ice in here and kind of get that ready first. All right, so this is going to be my ice bath. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put this in the microwave. Do you all want to watch? Do you want me to move the camera so you can watch it to see if it does that thing again, or do you want to just take my word?
Actually, I'll just eat into the microwave. I don't know how.
It has a light in there. All right, I'm going to put it in. Okay, I'm gonna do.
You said you put 3 in together, did you say?
What? No, you don't put the eggs in the first. You have to boil the water first.
When you do put the eggs in.
I put 3 in. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna start it for 3 minutes, and I'm gonna watch it. After it gets to the 2 minute mark, I'm gonna go back and check. But for now, while I'm waiting for that to cook or boil, I'm gonna start pulling out the crab segment, so. I already prepped these in case you're wondering. It's so easy. Yeah, so I'm just, yeah. It just makes it easier. If I didn't do that, I would have to be cracking it right now, like normal. Like, I mean, that worked out pretty good, but I mean, you have to be kind of like, you never know. So, but yeah, so I only need a couple pieces here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this back over here, back in my refrigerator. And then I'm gonna check on the eggs or the water again really quick. So it's not boiling yet. But I'm ready with my egg. So I'm gonna do like a big one and a medium-sized one and a little one. Because I actually need some of these for some other a thing later on. So I meant another canapé, not like later I'm gonna eat eggs.
Just another live.
Yeah. All right, it's been 2 minutes already. Still waiting for the boiling to start. So once you put the eggs in, you're gonna wait until, I guess, I'll see if they do that jumpy thing again. If not, I'm just gonna do like 20 more seconds. And then I'm gonna pull them out, put them in the bath here, let them cool off, and then you're gonna crack and peel and rinse the egg. Okay, still not boiling.
So really, the egg is something you can do in advance of your flight as well.
Yeah, you could, but I wanted to show how to make them today. Yes. Unless you have a microwave, I mean, you could do that if you had a microwave. Yeah. Oh, the water's boiling now, so I'm gonna open this up. And I'm being very careful. I'm not trying to burn myself today. I'm gonna use this. Be careful with your face too, because sometimes boiling water can like explode, so that's why I say be very careful. Yeah. So here we are. This is the boiling water. I'm gonna take these 3 and delicately drop them in. Little baby quail eggs. They're so cute. So see, they're already like bubbling. I don't know if they're letting air out or what. You see that? Or if it's just bubbles attached to the shell. But I'm gonna put those back in here. And I'm gonna put 30 seconds and just watch them, see what they do.
Okay, so we need to know if there's any jumping.
Yeah. Do you want to see? I don't know if maybe it's because there's like air bubbles or something. I don't see any movement.
I think, yeah, we'll go by your 15 to 20
Yeah, I didn't see any movement, but I might try to pull one out and see how it looks. And then I'll put the other 2 in for a little bit longer and see if they do anything. So I'm gonna pull out the little one. I think this is the little one. And I'm gonna put him in the ice bath. And I'm gonna let the other 2 go for a little bit longer. So just, you gotta watch it a little bit and see. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm just gonna do 15 more seconds. Oh,
there.
it's moving a little bit.
Okay.
It started to kind of like move, like tilt up a little bit. I don't know if that means that
There's
there's
definitely something going on.
just saying that might be the clue that it's like, you know. What was your question? Did you ask the question?
No, I was just saying this is helpful. It's helpful information. I mean, I wouldn't have known how to microwave a toilet.
Yeah. So it started kind of like floating up a little bit. So I think that means that it's like cooking or it's near to being done. I don't know if that's because like the air bubble or something is moving it, but the biggest one started moving a little bit.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna put those two into the ice. And we can check on the other. They cool down really fast.
So you've just been verified here. So we have someone who's just done it, Kelly. It works great. 2 times 20 seconds.
Oh, good, perfect.
Great.
I just figured that out today, so I'm glad it's like a proven method. I feel like a scientist today. All right, so let's go ahead and check on this little one. And you just kind of like, just crack it a little bit. Moment of truth.
Here we go.
It's best.
I've got a good tip for shelling eggs. Actually, if you roll.
See, that one wasn't all the way bent.
Okay.
It wasn't moving.
If you roll the egg, so once you give it a crack, roll the shell so the whole shell shatters. Roll it on the board. It's much easier to peel off, I find.
Oh, you mean
So
if you
actually roll it,
like this?
and then the shell just goes, yeah. So
Oh.
obviously with enough pressure so that the shell shatters.
I want to be careful because it's a little quail egg. Oh, it's working.
Yeah, and then the shell should come off really easily. I find that it comes off like almost in one.
Yeah, I think as long as you get like the membrane, I think that's.
Yeah, then it should.
Oh, I think this one's a lot better. This one's definitely more cooked. I'm hoping it's soft boiled enough, but it's.
This guy has 15 and then how else? Another.
This one, these ones were a little bigger than my first one, I think that's why. But these ones took, I want to say maybe 35, 30, 40 seconds.
Okay.
But like I said, they started doing a movement, so.
Yeah, so still found tip of 2 times 20 seconds, that's about right.
Okay, perfect. I'm trying to be really careful here. Okay, so I got this off. I'm assuming it's done. I'm gonna go rinse it off really quick. It's the Sylvan's here. Hi, Sylvan.
Catherine says, I roll them in my palms gently also, so that's the same effect.
Okay.
It tends to shatter the shell all the way around, and then it's much easier to peel off.
All right, so now that I have this, I'm pretty sure it's good. So what I'm gonna do is cut into it here. And I like, these ones are really fun because sometimes they have this perfect, like the air somehow made it like to the top. So you can actually set it down and it's like a perfect.
It's done.
Yeah, it's cute. It's like, so if you don't mess it up like I did this one, where it popped off the end on accident, you can actually just, you know, put it next to your thing and it's really cute too. So that's another idea. So I'm gonna cut into it really gently here. Perfect. So, and then I'm gonna cut this into fourths. And so next thing we can do is start actually plating the little guy. So we do one little dollop of creme fraiche again. It's a very common combination is the creme fraiche and then X on top of it. So it's a very popular canapé thing. And a lot of times it'll be mixed with other things too, or you can make like a cream. Cream cheese is also really popular to use mixed with other things. And then also like, what is it called? Compound butters are also really popular for canapés too. So there's tons of recipes that you can find. I'm gonna put a little piece of the crab here. And then we're gonna add our cute little quail egg. So that's gonna be right here. So we've got those two. And then the last part of this is going to be adding in some chives. So I have my little, I have like every gadget known to man for food things. So this is my little herb thing that stands up in the refrigerator, but you can put water in it, which keeps them fresh, which I love. So here's my little chives here. I'm gonna cut some little pieces of that. This is just like you would do in the galley, so
Yeah.
kind of prepping it.
That's it. Perfect.
And then for the little tiny pieces that you want to place, you can use the little tweezers. That's why they're there.
We've got more requests to try the canapé. No, do we get to try it?
Send me your address.
I mean, that might be a step too far. I'm struggling enough to actually get onto it.
There's gonna be one last thing that I'm gonna add here, and it's gonna be a little tiny bit of Maldon salt because that's my favorite, and it tastes great on pretty much everything. So I'm gonna put a little tiny bit.
Definitely a galley essential.
Yeah, for anybody that's wondering, Maldon salt is has like really interesting texture. It's a little bit more elegant than just regular sea salt or table salt. But you can just put a little bit of that on some, and just a tiny, tiny amount, because this is going to be a really small bite, so you don't want to put too much, but it'll just add a little bit of extra interest for the flavor profile. So, all right, I'm gonna set that aside. But here we go. So we have this little cute one. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put my little fake rose spears on it. That's the last. So I guess I'll just pick whichever one looks kind of like the best size. Normally for this one, as I mentioned, you would use, or the recipe calls for salmon roe. So this is kind of like the my little replacement that I'm going to try today. If I can grip it, kind of hard to pick up.
And you just put like literally a couple of spears on.
Yeah, just maybe like 3. There we go. The regular ones don't take this long to pick. There you go. All right, so there we go. So here's this. I might put a little bit more chive over here because I don't see any on the side. But yeah, it looks really delicious actually. I'll probably eat this when we're done with the colander.
It's amazing. I love it. So nice. So nice.
Oh, now I'm really getting this down. I'm doing the little Vanna tool.
Yeah.
All right, there we are. So that's number 3 here. I'm just, as I'm finishing these, I'm plating them down here below. I don't know if you can see that, but.
I think that just might just be out of shot, although I have got comments on mine, so how they go. Yeah, they look so good.
Okay, did you have a comment you said?
Oh no, I was just saying that I can't see the bottom of the screen. It's covered by the comments. doable now.
All right, should I move on to the next one, or does anybody have any questions on that one?
Everyone can't, you're just making everyone
Yeah, that's like a perfect little bite size, and I love egg in little things like that because it adds like a little bit of protein, and then the fat in the egg is like a really nice texture, especially when you have it cutting, like the creme fraiche cutting with the fat of the egg, and then you have the crab meat has a little bit of sweetness, and then when you have the blini on the bottom, it adds that nice buttery like bread taste. So it's that's going to be a really good one to try on your aircraft too. But also, demonstrate those little cute eggs if you can.
Yeah.
You could even use the shell, like if you wanted to cut it and make it look a little bit more, professional or whatever, if you can. And then you can set it next to it or something or nearby, and that way they can say, "What's that?" And you're like, "Oh, it's a quail egg. It's just on there, see?"
Yeah,
It's kind of cute.
Tuck into that.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually I'll keep these two on the side because I will probably reuse these on this other one I have later. So
Okay, so back to our foundation. What's the foundation for this one?
oh, the next one. This next one is actually going to be a panna cotta, so there's no bread. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one because it's not in my bag. It's in my refrigerator, so those are the easiest ones because you can make them ahead, and then all you have to do is decorate them when they come out, and it's fantastic. So highly recommend like panna cotta style desserts, or gelatin type canapes are really easy. So if you're in a hurry, or if you have like a lot of catering that you have to manage throughout the flight, it's nice to do like a canapé that's really easy to start off with to give you that time to set up. So that's a good tip if you want to do something really easy. Do one of the shooter type things, or something that you can just bring out real quick.
Always a good idea, because obviously there's so many variables that you can go with all the best intentions of having hours beforehand.
Yeah, and then they might show up early, and then you're like, oh, I'm glad I have these ready. So I'm just gonna clean this off here really fast, and then I'll bring out those ones because they're already pretty much ready. So, and I'm not gonna use this anymore. It's going away. I kind of want to have music on. I feel like it's so quiet.
Did you turn Becky up? She'll sing for it.
Oh, I'm a big music person, so I always, whenever I'm cooking or doing anything at home, I always have Spotify on, and I listen to like all kinds of stuff. So that's what kind of gets me through. Oh, really?
She'll kill me with that.
Well, I'd love to hear sometime. All right, move these out of the way. Okay, so the next one is going to be, actually I should take this off here too. I don't really use this right now. Keeping the eggs though, because I like them. All right, so I actually made 3 different type of vessel preparations of this, just because I had a lot of extra, and I have a ton of little different like little glassware and things. I'm kind of a collector of random glass stuff. So I have like
someone else like that.
What?
I know someone else like that, and she's on this call.
Yeah, I have like so many types of, I mean, I don't know, you see all these little things I have, but I love that kind of stuff. So I'm always like, where can I get it? Okay, so these are already, this is a little tray. These are the shot glasses style. I found this tray on Amazon, and it fits, it actually came with different shot glasses that were a little bit more like this, and they were shorter. But I bought these, and I thought these would be perfect fit, and they fit really nicely. So these are great to pull out if you have 6 guests. It makes it really easy. Or you can put like a flower in one of them or something if you have 5. I don't know. you can just kind of play with it, but I like having them in a secure thing, especially when they're shot glasses.
Secure and not loose on it. Obviously on a tray, it's always.
Exactly. And oh, here, I'll pull up. So, and then the other preparation I have is like a basic panna cotta thing. And then the third one is like an espresso cup. So for this one, all you have to do is really put like the topping on the top of it. So the topping for this one is going to be the salmon roe.
So just quickly talk us through the.
I thought I was done with that one. But we could do the black one too. That one's so cute. But yeah, so we've got, these are just 3 different styles of how you can present your panna cotta style gelatin stuff. So this one is in a tray, and then, or you could just do it individually if you have like just 3 passengers or guests, you could use these 3. If you have 1 person or a couple people, you could use the little espresso one. And then this is quite a lot. I probably wouldn't serve this as like a canapé. This might be more like an appetizer or like a main, depending on how hungry people are. It's always, everything you do is always based off of your guest or your passenger or owner's preferences. So always just follow that rule. But yeah, so I'm gonna get these little guys out so you can see what the plating is gonna look like. But this one's just basically gonna be salmon roe, and then you would do a little bit of like dill on it and a half egg. So I'll do like a couple different ones. I wish I just had the regular, get the little salmon roe. But I tried, you know.
Good improvisation, I think.
Just trying to be creative, you know. So we'll just do a couple in here. This one's really big, so. And then this is where the other egg is gonna go to on this one. So it's spinach panna cotta with caviar and quail eggs. So we just top the panna cotta with the caviar, 1 egg half, and then a little sprig of dill, which I have like a little garnish bin over here that I was saving. So here's all my dill. Looks really good today, actually. And then I could probably dress this up too with some other stuff. I have some edible flowers. I don't like to use these unless there's specific flowers in here. So I'm gonna look and see if they have any of the cool ones. I don't like to use the ones that look like they're weeds or you know what I mean? I avoid the weed looking one because that doesn't say expensive, you know, it doesn't say elite. I try to use the ones that say, you know, I'm special. So, okay. This one's kind of cool. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put the little egg piece on now. Forgot where, oh, I put it over here. So we have, actually, I'll put this little tiny one in here. And then we do a little sprig of dill. It's precision.
But again, it's everything you know you can do beforehand and have it as you have in your pull bag, everything boxed up.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's a case of posting things once you're on board.
Mhm.
So yeah, these are ideas.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, like I said, this one's really easy because all you have to do is place a couple, like 3 things on top, and then you can just take them right out. And then another thing I would also suggest is when you're serving something in a shot glass like this, make sure you have utensils that are going to fit into it, because if your spoon's too big, that's going to be really annoying.
Yeah.
So make sure you have
espresso spoon or something.
Yeah, these are like little demi-tasse spoons. So these can go all the way to the bottom without getting stuck in the middle. So I just wanted to mention that because sometimes I think like, oh, this is a cute spoon. And I'm like,
Doesn't fit.
so, okay. So we've got, here's another dill, and then here's one more. And then I just have to put the egg on top. I have one little egg left. So cut this guy over here. Okay, that's it.
Now we need to do a close up.
Well, I have 3 this time. I think maybe I'll use this one because it, these 2 are really cute. That one's kind of big, so, all right. So we've got, this is the shot glass presentation. I don't know if you can,
Yeah.
where's my camera? Is it?
You are perfect. Rotate that round.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It's so cute.
And that pop-up colour as well.
Yeah, the orange. Well, like, or the salmon roe, I mean. And then this one's really pretty because it's got that kind of floating glass look to it.
Yeah, that's really nice.
That one came out really nice. So
yeah,
I would recommend using this type of vessel versus the shot glass for this particular one, but you
and
could.
you did the access as well.
Yes. I'm gonna display the little shot glass one versus the other one because I think it's really cute. So I'm running out of room on my little stage here for my my canopé stage. These are so cute all together. I love it. Okay, this one is gonna go back in the refrigerator. Oh, but while I'm here though, I mean, you could technically do like some other stuff. I probably wouldn't put like a flower inside of it because I don't think that would add to the flavor of it. But you could, if you wanted to use a flower, you could put it on the outside, like near the bottom or something. But I wouldn't put something like this in there. Whenever you're adding like flowers and things as a garnish, always try to think, will this make it taste better or is it just look pretty? And if it doesn't make it taste better, don't add it. Put it on the outside. But okay, so I'm gonna put this back and then let's see, what time is it?
So my goodness,
Oh my gosh.
So Catherine's asking how many do passengers eat, but as these are just canapés, it would just be an offering, so it would be 1 per person effectively, unless you were going to do it more as a starter.
Yeah, canapés are more like they're to excite the appetite about your in-flight service. It's not something that it's not something that you're gonna put on your in-flight menu. It's more like a surprise, kind of like an amusebouche, where you before you even bring out their food, you surprise them with something little to kind of get their taste buds going and get their mouth excited for what's to come. So this isn't like something that you want to make big. That's why this one's a little too big. But I like this cup, so I wanted to try it out. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. All right. Moving along, the next thing I have today is going to be, actually this is the last demo I have today. So the other thing that I have is the Gougères, which we already kind of talked about. So I don't need to go over that again. But yeah, so the next thing I have, I'm gonna put this back. The last one. And this one is very pretty. I thought this was just gorgeous and it looks pretty easy to make. So this one there isn't really any preparation I could do beforehand, but this is just basically like stuffed date. So this would be something that you could purchase and bring with you if, like, say you're going somewhere that you won't have access to like certain types of stores or whatever, and you wanted to have like something kind of in your back pocket just in case. this is one of those kind of things where you don't have to do any prep work and it's really easy to put together. So it's going to be one stuffed date, and it has goat cheese, pistachios, and pomegranate. So this is a really pretty color combination because we have the pistachios are like nice green color, and then we have the dates, which are this like nice warm light brown, and then the top of the white cheese, and then we have these beautiful pomegranate Oreos, which add that really beautiful magenta color. Which I don't know if you guys noticed, but today I feel like I have some kind of beet fascination because I have all these beautiful like magenta beet colors going on, and I had I got flowers that were kind of that color too, so I'm just like loving that color today.
I think it's great. It's really nice to see a proper colour. I think, especially in a lot of aircraft interiors are very tonal. Just to see that kind of colour.
Normally I would do and these are already pre-seeded, so you don't have to, you just have to open them up a little bit in the center. But yeah, normally for flowers, I mean, it really depends on your aircraft owner or your account that you're working for. Some of the clients that I work with don't even, they say no flowers, absolutely no flowers. So I don't get to use that. That's like something I like to do for, flowers. But if they don't want them, obviously I can't, do flowers. But some people like them, and but sometimes they're like very minimal. Sometimes they're like, something really like flamboyant, especially if it's like a holiday or something. Like Valentine's Day is a huge one. I have a friend who was doing a trip for Valentine's Day, and the owner said, fill the aircraft with roses. I want her to be like totally blown away. And so that's what she did. And like, I saw the pictures and I was just, I would have I felt special just from seeing that he did that for his wife. And I thought, wow, that's absolutely incredible. So, I mean, you never know. Okay, so we have the little date here is opened up, ready to go. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to put a little bit of goat cheese in the center. Super easy. I can actually use one of my little demi-tasse spoons here. So it's going to be a nice, I like to use the back of the spoon sometimes for these type of cheeses. And then you're just going to kind of squeeze that, spread that right in the center. And then we're going to put a little bit, I'll probably chop the almonds just a tiny bit so that you can see more of that beautiful green color. Because sometimes when you get them out of the bag, they have kind of like a powdery look to them. I don't know if you noticed that, but if you chop them, you can see more of the inside.
And this is your pistachio?
Yes. So we're gonna do, so we have the date, we have pistachios, and we're just gonna place them on there very delicately. Try to display that beautiful green color.
You're doing such a good job.
This is fun for me. Like I've always loved, I feel like this is like playing with my food. I've always loved that ever since I was little. And this is what I do for work now, which is fantastic. I love it. It's my favorite. So, okay. So I did a couple of those little green pieces. I'm going to do a couple little tiny ones too. And then sometimes I just want to mention that sometimes when you're doing like plating, there's a rule of 3. So when there's an odd number of something, it's more interesting, more visually appealing to the eye. So I just took off one of those because I'm looking at it and that makes sense. Because it does look better with just the 3. So
yeah, I always go for numbers.
Yeah. And then I'm going to add a couple of these little pomegranate Oreos. And then this one's done.
Just strip this case up. Just
That one didn't want to stay on. Okay. All right, so that's it.
Yeah,
Easy.
that's a super quick one. So that's great.
Yeah. And I mean, there's tons of different ways that you can kind of play with it, but the colors are really pretty. Oh.
It's slippery.
Yeah. But
so Cassie said, I enjoy the simplistic elegance of all these canapes. They can clear out gathering new ideas for a flight, and that I think that's hit the nail on the head there, because I think you do associate canapes with lots of faffing and lots of fiddling, and you've just done all that.
they're easy. It's just foundation, cream or base, and then a protein or like some type of fun topper, and then a garnish. They're super easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
as much as you can before, and
yes, that definitely helps out.
that's in the right order.
So I'm gonna move this stuff off the table here, and I'm gonna present all of them together so you can see them all together.
Amazing.
Because now I'm done, yay!
Colleen says Kelly is the best. Kelly is the best.
Colleen, hi Colleen. My favorite person. Colleen's actually one of my favorite flight attendant friends. She was my original flight attendant mentor when I first got started. So she has a very special place in my heart. If anybody is on Instagram, look at her page. She has the most amazing welcome table. She's the best.
Then I have Celine 6 as number 13.
What? Oh yes. Yeah, that's her. Check out her. She makes the cutest welcome table drinks, and her little menus are so beautiful. She's such an inspiration.
She's an inspiration.
Okay, so let me move all in.
And also, somebody else has asked if you could write the recipe down.
Oh.
Which is a great idea. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna share some of them, but I don't want to give too many away because I know that.
Yeah, all by the book.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not here, I'm not getting any type of promotional stuff, but I found this and I found it to be fantastic. So it's like $10, totally worth it. And it's kind of small, so it's easy to carry around if you need, or you can get it on Kindle and it's take it with you on your computer. But
Can you just hold it up one more time? I will link it under this video. I will link to the book. And Kelly said there's no kind of affiliate link or anything like that. It's just perfect inspiration. So it's Milli Taylor, Partyperfectbites.
Yeah. And then yeah, I'll show you the ones out of there that I made if you want to compare. But on Amazon, which is where I bought this, see, these are the little the egg and that I made today. But on Amazon, the cover is different. She has another version of it, but I think it's pretty much all the same. But that one has it's the same name of the book, but it actually has a Kindle version. So I actually bought both of them. I bought this hardcover one and I bought the Kindle one so I could carry it with me when I'm traveling, because I don't like to bring books with me on the road. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great idea to have on the Kindle.
Yeah. But yeah, tons of great ideas. I love her work. She's a fantastic chef, and her Instagram has a ton more really fun and interesting things. So here's all the little ones I made today, so you can kind of see them all together. Can you see that? I don't want to tilt it.
No, that's fine. I think if you guys let me know, I can see that really clearly, but does anyone want it? Oh, there you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. They look absolutely amazing.
I would, if I'm putting it down for a guest, I would face it towards them, the best angle too. So that's just another tip that I do. because you want them to have the best like experience before they eat it with their eyes. So.
Yeah, I think I agree that I love the espresso cup actually at the back. I think that looks great.
It's really cute. It's kind of like, it looks kind of like it's floating or
It's
something.
floating. Yeah. Exactly.
This might be a good vessel to serve caviar in too, if you don't have like an actual set, because you can place this. I know this is like an insulated concept where it's not supposed to like probably retain or lose heat, but if you could put it in ice. I mean, I've had situations where I was flying one time and the owner said, oh, the next leg we want to do caviar service, and I'm like, what? Because he never did caviar ever. And I'm like, okay, like I had to make it happen. So I ran out and I was trying to find like a set that had all the different things so I could put all the accoutrement or like all the different things that go with it. And I found something. It wasn't for caviar, but I repurposed it so that I could use it. But I had to like use a bowl and put like something in it with ice surrounding it to make sure that the caviar stayed, you know, cold. But you know, this is kind of cool too. So on a smaller scale.
Amazing. You're absolutely amazing.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Amazing.
My pleasure.
Maybe in the background as well.
I had this whole segment about flowers. I don't know if you saw my flowers back here, but I kind of didn't get to that
Yeah,
yet.
I think you're just slightly in front of them. It step to your right, I think. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, I bought a bunch of flowers, and I was gonna do some like talking about like welcome table flowers today, but I think maybe another time I'll have to do that one.
We can do it. We can do a part two because that's really good. Let's do a part two. Let's definitely do a part two. We'll start with flowers on the table.
Okay.
And the other thing we're going to do with Kelly, which is feel about this, we think we can make this work, is to do a Zoom, but have it as more of a sort of a cook along. So we'll send out an ingredient list beforehand, and we'll just concentrate on one, maybe two canapes, and then we can cook along with Kelly, and we'll do it. I think easier on Zoom because we have way more participants there. But yeah, so watch this space because she'll be back.
Love it. Amazing.
Today it was a lot of fun. I hope that like some of the tips I shared were helpful to some people. I know there's like kind of a wide range of people that are watching today, so I was hoping that I could put a little bit of interesting things in for everyone. So please let me know what you liked. If you tried anything, I'd love to see your photos. Send it to the link, or I don't know where to send them, but I want to see.
Tag Kelly, because your account is now public, so you're at yourgotofa.
Yes.
Or tag us, and we'll share it with Kelly. So we're obviously at the Perfect Global. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining us, Kelly. Thank you so much. You were
my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We're all really jealous that you now get to eat those.
Oh my gosh, I know, and I have all this extra stuff left over. The puff pastries are probably my favorite, I have to say. I want to make breadsticks.
Well, enjoy them, because you definitely earned them. So enjoy, and we will see you very, very soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.